Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hope all of you are doing well. Hope everyone in your family is also doing well. Hope you are safe and at home and not roaming around. Um, Today we will be talking about surgical infections. The learning objectives for today's lecture are um, by the end of this session, inshallah, you will be able to describe surgical infections or surgical site infections and discuss the localized and systemic SSIs and discuss their prevention. The topics that I'm going to be covering today would be introduction, microbiology of surgical infections. Sorry, there's a spelling mistake. And then we will be discussing surgical site infections and localized systemic, localized surgical site infections, not the specific or the systemic ones. The point number 5th and 6th would be discussed later on. So coming to the introduction, here's a small video that I wanted to share with you. ये थोड़ी सी वीडियो आप देखें and then we are going to talk about it. देख ली. Most of you must have seen or at least heard about this movie Gladiator. कुछ मेरे जैसे भी होंगे जिनको इस टाइप की मूवीज नहीं पसंद होंगी. And most of you must be knowing about these fights of the gladiators in the arena. Now, as you saw in the movie, that the hero and the villains, the fighters, all of them were getting injured. And obviously, in these fights, this was quite common. Now, this was such a long time ago, and their wounds also got treated, although they were quite deep and very severe kind of wounds. So, without the antibiotics, how did these wounds got healed? Nowadays, even for very small scratches or very small cuts, we give tablet augmentin, and still we get infected wounds, and we still say कि जी आपने hygiene को यूं किया तो आपने antibiotics time पे नहीं दी. So what did these people do at that time? And what we are doing right now nowadays is that the correct management of surgical wounds or not? This is what we are going to find out in our lecture. So first of all, the introduction. Now, surgical site infections, they are the major complications of surgery or trauma worldwide. And in history, we have seen that people had realized that infections will occur in a cut if they are not properly managed. As far back as 3500 BC, Egyptians used to mummify their dead bodies, and this was done by applying such chemicals so as to prevent the process of putrefaction. यानी कि even they knew कि कुछ ऐसे process को हम कोई ऐसी चीजें use करके हम इस process of putrefaction को stop कर सकते हैं so that the mummies can be preserved. Now, Hippocrates in 460 BC, he was famous for using wine or vinegar for irrigating the wounds. Then in the times of gladiators, there was this belief that pus bonum et laudable. What does that mean? Actually, they found out कि जिस wound में infection हो जाए, pus बन जाए, and if they would drain that pus, the wound would heal quickly. So this dictum was very famous at that time. It means good and likable pus. अब गुड एंड लाइकेबल पस का बेसिकली मीनिंग ये था कि अगर वूंड में पस है तो यू ड्रेन इट एंड इट विल गेट हील्ड. लेकिन दिस वाज टेकन इन अ रॉन्ग वे एंड पीपल स्टार्टेड बिलीविंग कि नहीं, वी शुड डेवलप first make sure that a wound develops pus, and then it will heal nicely. So what they started doing was they started putting feces or cow dung in the wound to make it get infected, and then later on they would drain the pus, and then they would think कि oh जी हमारा wound बड़े अच्छे तरीके से heal हो गया. So obviously it has its problems. In 1205, there was this sensible guy, Theodoric Servia, who tried to prove that this was incorrect, but very few believed him. And finally, in the 19th century, Robert Koch was the one who gave his first definition of infective diseases, but that has slightly changed over time. His definition is known as Koch's postulates, and I want all of you to write these postulates on a piece of paper and share it on the comments. जिसने कॉक्स postulate लिखकर शेयर किए मेरे साथ comments पे, they will be marked present for the class. Finally, in 1850, there was this sensible guy, Ignaz Semmelweis, who said that if you wash your hands between autopsy and delivery of a pregnant lady, the infection rate can be decreased from 10% to 2%. Now, look at the dilemma कि ये बेचारा ये कन्विंस कर रहा था कि कम से कम एटॉप्सी और या नॉर्मल जो आप लोग काम शाम करके आ रहे हैं उसके बाद कम से कम हाथ ही धो लें, and that will increase the infection. But nobody believed him, and he died of an infected wound on the hand in an asylum. ये एक YouTube लिंक मैंने शेयर किया हुआ है, काइंडली इसको देख लें. एक छोटी सी 7-8 मिनट्स की वीडियो है अबाउट दिस गाय इग्नेस सेमलवाइज, और मुझे तो बहुत फनी लगी है क्योंकि ये सिर्फ लोगों को इस बात पे कन्विंस कर रहा है कि हाथ धो लो, और उसका रिएक्शन जो उनकी मेडिकल की टीम है उनका रिएक्शन इस पे क्या है. तो एट द एंड फाइनली नाउअडेज जो चीज़ फाइनल हुई है in the modern day surgery, it is very simple. Aseptic operation theater techniques. To reduce post-operative infections, we need to give prophylactic antibiotics, and delayed primary or secondary closure. ये वो सारी चीजें हैं which can lead to decreased infection of the surgical wounds. Simple as that. Now coming to the microbiology of surgical infections. Microbiology, आप लोग microbiology में पढ़ चुके हुए हैं. Simply we have staph, strep, bacteroids, and so many other bacteria which can cause surgical infections. आपने ये सारा कुछ पहले study किया हुआ है. I'm not going to go into the details of that. What I want to talk about is what are the sources of infection. These bacteria that cause infection, they can be endogenous or exogenous. Now, endogenous means from within the body. These bacteria lie on or inside the patient's body, and exogenous means from outside. These are usually hospital-acquired infections. Ideally speaking, if you have a good sterilization, if you have good proper ventilation of your operation theater, if you follow the surgical protocols, so there should be minimal exogenous infections. Nowadays, in modern day surgery, most of the surgical infections are due to endogenous bacteria coming from inside or on the patient's body. Exogenous, obviously, they should be preventable. Now, let's talk about just a single slide about what are the factors that determine whether a wound will become infected or not. Actually, we have talked a lot about these points in our previous classes, where we talked about the host response, which is related to the immune status of the patient or the nutritional status of the patient. With a good immune status and well-nourished patient, obviously the incidence of infection will be low. Then virulence and inoculum of infective agent. ये जो आजकल कोरोना पे भी बात चल रही है कि viral load, how much infective material has been inoculated in the wound will tell you कि जी किस तरह की infection होनी है. Similarly, कितना virulent organism था जो कि जिसने infect किया है wound को. Then another point, if the blood supply of the wound is not good, the chances of the wound healing early will decrease. ये कैसे होगा? For example, if you operate on a patient and the patient is generally suffering from hypotension or hypothermia, the body temperature is low or the blood pressure is low, obviously blood supply will be decreased. When the blood supply is decreased, obviously there will be ischemia and the chances of healing of the wound, in fact, the chances of the wound getting infected would be increased. सिमिलरली अब ये सिर्फ इस तरह नहीं कि हमने जनरल बात कर दी हाइपोथर्मिया और हाइपोटेंशन की. इफ यू पुट अ वेरी टाइट ड्रेसिंग ऑन द वुंड और यू पुट योर स्टिचेस वेरी टाइटली, अब बहुत सख्त सख्त गिरे लगा लगा के टाइट स्टिचेस लगा देंगे, तो दैट विल ऑल्सो लीड टू decreased blood supply in that specific area, and that will also lead to higher chances of infection of that area. Then the presence of dead or foreign tissue. अगर आपको याद हो तो मैंने आप लोगों से डिस्कस किया था कि सिल्क is something which is discouraged all over the world, क्योंकि chances of infection are quite high with silk. Similarly, that goes for other dead or foreign tissue as well. Dead tissue में आपके पास necrotic tissue अगर कोई रह गया है wound में, तो obviously that will promote infection or increase the chance of the wound getting infected. या फिर अगर कोई फॉरेन बॉडी अंदर पड़ी हुई है, तो अगेन द चांसेस ऑफ वुंड इन्फेक्शन विल बी मोर. And then the presence of antibiotics during the decisive period. Now, the main concept in giving prophylactic antibiotics for prevention of surgical infections is that there is a decisive period. This is the period during which if you give the antibiotics, the chances of infection will decrease. अब ये decisive period क्या होता है? This is basically about 4 hours. It is a temporary period, lasts about 4 hours, and this is the time during which usually the surgery starts and ends. Normally, हम अगर मेजर सर्जरीज ये बाईपास या इस तरह की बात ना करें, हम नॉर्मल केसेस की बात करें, ये वो टाइम होता है जिसमें अगर आपका बैक्टीरिया एक्सपोज हो, आपके वूंड में चला जाए, एंड यू हैव ऑलरेडी गिवन एंटीबायोटिक्स, तो बैक्टीरिया इस टाइम में उस एंटीबायोटिक के इफेक्ट से it will not be able to infect the wound. तो decisive period में if you give prophylactic antibiotics, तो आपका chances of infection would be low. This is usually given at the time of incision or at the time of induction of anesthesia. हम antibiotics दे देते हैं, तो आपके decisive period में antibiotics ही present होती हैं. अगर bacteria आ भी जाएं, तो they are killed by the antibiotics that you've given. I hope कि आप लोगों को समझ आ रही है. It is not very enjoyable for me कि मैं आप लोगों को इस तरह से लेक्चर डिलीवर करती हूँ कि मेरे सामने कंप्यूटर होता है और मैं बोल रही होती हूँ, मेरे सामने क्लास नहीं होती. There is no interaction between the class and the person who's presenting the lecture. लेकिन obviously अभी आजकल की situation की वजह से we don't have an option. Just a few more slides. हमारा ये lecture ख़त्म होने लगा है. A little bit about what are surgical site infections. So they can be superficial. Infection of a surgical wound is a superficial surgical site infection. And if there is significant quantity of pus which requires a secondary procedure to drain it or drains by itself, this is known as a major surgical site infection. Surgical site infection, obviously, you can very well tell is infection at the site of the trauma or the surgery or the cut or the wound is called a surgical site infection. So once again, I'll repeat it. A superficial surgical site infection is the one in which there is infection of a surgical wound, which is mild. And if there is significant quantities of pus along with that infection, which either spontaneously drains itself or needs a secondary procedure to drain, then along with pyrexia and a high TLC count and tachycardia, then this is known as a major SSI. This is a superficial surgical site infection, and this clearly is a major wound infection. Major wound infection and delayed healing presenting as a fecal fistula in a patient with Crohn's disease on steroid treatment. अब आप देखें, patient has Crohn's disease, patient is on steroid treatments, इसका मतलब है immunocompromised भी होगा, malnourished भी होगा, उस पे आपने एक मेजर सर्जरी भी की, आप देख रहे हैं इसकी एलियोस्टमी हुई हुई है, तो ऑब्वियसली ये प्रीडिस्पोज था वुंड इन्फेक्शन के लिए, और अल्टीमेटली जब इसको इन्फेक्शन हुई तो देयर इज fecal fistula, feces are coming from the wound, and this will require obviously a longer time in the hospital and many major interventions. So surgical site infections, they can be localized or they can be some specific local wound infections, and then they can be systemic. Localized infections में से कौन-कौन सी हैं? Abscesses हैं, cellulitis, lymphangitis, and then specific local wound infections में कौन-कौन सी आ जाती हैं? Gas gangrene है, tetanus है, and synergistic spreading gangrene, which is known as necrotizing fasciitis. मैंने 2-3 दफ़ा गैस गैंग्रीन और नेक्रोटाइजिंग fasciitis को आप लोगों के सामने मेंशन किया है, और मैंने आप लोगों को हर दफ़ा ये कहा है, we'll be discussing it later. Now, in my next lecture, we will be discussing gas gangrene, tetanus, and necrotizing fasciitis one by one. Today, we will just talk briefly about abscesses, cellulitis, and lymphangitis. Systemic infections में कौन-कौन सी चीज़ें आ जाती हैं? Systemic infection में हमारे पास bacteremia है, systemic inflammatory response syndrome है, hepatitis, and HIV. We will be talking about these as well. Now coming to localized infections. Abscess, we all know what an abscess is. There is collection of pus surrounded by acute inflammatory response. If not treated properly, there will be chronic abscess formation, or if you give antibiotics in inappropriate doses, or without getting the culture sensitivity done, so there is the formation of antibioma, which is kind of a tumor which develops, and it is again a type of a chronic abscess which is very difficult to treat. Other options are ultrasound guided needle aspiration can be tried to treat it, and antibiotics are given according to the culture and sensitivity only if the patient has systemic signs along with local infections. After drainage, this abscess is mostly left to heal by secondary intention. Then we have cellulitis and lymphangitis. Cellulitis is a non-suppurative invasive infection of the tissues which is poorly localized. Cellulitis, अभी मैं आप लोगों को आगे पिक्चर्स में भी दिखाऊंगी कि it has the typical cardinal signs of inflammation. इसमें redness भी होती है, ये hot भी होता है, सारे inflammatory signs जो हैं वो आपके पास present होते हैं. अगर इसके साथ स्ट्रीक्स, पेनफुल रेड स्ट्रीक्स आपको नजर आए तो दिस इज लिम्फेंजाइटिस. बेसिकली लिम्फेटिक्स जो यहाँ से ड्रेन कर रही हैं टू देयर रिस्पेक्टिव लिम्फ नोड्स, उनमें भी इंफेक्शन हो जाती है, एंड देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज लिम्फेंजाइटिस, एंड देयर आर एसोसिएटेड पेनफुल लिम्फ नोड्स along with lymphangitis usually, and the treatment is according to the presentation. Now here's a picture. Here you can see there is cellulitis surrounding inflammation है, but this is very mild kind of cellulitis. ये सिर्फ और सिर्फ local wound के around बनी हुई है. This will be treated very easily. इसमें आपको कोई बहुत major systemic signs भी नहीं मिलेंगे, और ये आपके local infection में ही treat हो जाएगी. But this here you can see there is streptococcal cellulitis of the leg following a minor puncture wound. You can see bullae, you can see ill-defined margins, redness, erythema, मतलब swelling तबाही निकली हुई है इस टांग की. तो this is a very severe kind of cellulitis. तो cellulitis can be localized, localized तो खैर दोनों में ही है, लेकिन it can be mild or it can be severe. And here is an example of lymphangitis. Can you see these streaks running on the arm? Infection यहाँ पर है, ड्रेनिंग लिम्फ नोड्स की तरफ जो लिम्फेटिक्स जा रहे हैं उनमें ये स्ट्रीक्स नजर आ रही हैं. Here you can see, here is the wound, और यहाँ से कितने मजे का ये ट्रैक डाउन होकर एक्सिला की तरफ जा रहा है. ये बेसिकली लिम्फेंजाइटिस हुआ हुआ है. Finally, specific local infections, which are gas gangrene, tetanus, and synergistic spreading gangrene or necrotizing fasciitis. Inshallah, this will be discussed in your next lecture. My lecture ends here. Unfortunately, मैं आप लोगों से कोई questions भी नहीं पूछ सकती. एक question मैंने आप लोगों से अपने lecture के दौरान पूछा है. I want the answer, and according to your answers, you will be marked present or absent. Please बच्चे रिस्पॉन्ड करें, प्लीज़ कोई फीडबैक दें। वी वांट टू वर्क फॉर यू, वी वांट टू इम्प्रूव आवरसेल्व्स फॉर यू, ताकि आप लोगों की अंडरस्टैंडिंग हो। वी डोंट नो कि ये कोरोना कब तक चलेगा, आप लोग बहुत ज़्यादा सफ़र करेंगे। प्लीज़, फॉर योर ओन गुड, प्लीज़ रिस्पॉन्ड। थैंक यू वेरी मच, होप यू एन्जॉयड द लेक्चर।